Hello everyone, welcome to Free Info Friday. Today's topic is going to be disability. So this is a great video to watch if you feel you're disabled and unable to work. Social Security defines disability as an inability to sustain gainful employment. Now there's two types of disabilities that you could be eligible for. There's SSDI, which is Social Security Disability Insurance. Now, for this program, you need to have work credits to be eligible for it, and you'll have a date last insured that's usually 5 years in the future. If you have a date last insured that's in the past, that date has already lapsed, you will have to prove that you're disabled before that date. The other program is Social Security Supplemental Income. This is not based on work credit, so you don't have to necessarily have a strong work history. It is based on your income, so you need to be below a certain income level to be eligible for this program. Now, the other thing I want to touch on is the disability listings. Social Security has a long list of listings of impairments, and if you meet or equal a listing, then you're more eligible to get disability benefits. However, if you look through the listings and you don't see one that accurately captures your particular impairment or impairments, then don't feel discouraged about that. Don't let that stop you from applying, because you can also have a combination of impairments that as a whole meet or equal a listing and still allow you to qualify for disability. A couple other things I wanted to touch on that Social Security looks for in a disability case. They look for claimants who are over 55. Now, this isn't to say that if you're under 55, you can't get disability. Of course you can. It depends on your situation. It depends on the severity of your injuries. Every case is different, or your impairments rather than injuries. But if you're 55 or over, Social Security sees you as an individual of advanced age, so they don't think that at this point in your life you're going to be able to learn a new skill and work a new job. So if you're 55 and over, then you only need to prove that you can't work your past jobs. Whereas if you're under 55, you need to prove not only that you can't work any past jobs that you've worked, but you can't work any other job in the nation. So if you're 55 or older, your age is at your advantage. But like I said, if you're under 55, you could still get benefits. So don't let that discourage you. I'm just trying to give you some of the facts that I've seen with Social Security. Another thing that Social Security really relies on is medical evidence. So that's you seeing your doctors on a regular basis, getting treatment and being compliant with the treatment, having tests done that prove your diagnosis, having assessments done that shows your abilities and your disabilities. The best thing you can do is get a doctor to stand by you, through this journey. Because if a doctor is willing to write you a narrative letter, stipulate as to your disability and the things that you can and cannot do, that can really help your case. The last thing I want to touch on is just the process of applying for disability, because it can be a really long process, sometimes longer than 2 years even. So that's a long time to be waiting to have an income. So let me give you kind of a brief example of what it's going to look like if you get a lot of denials, which is what we typically see, unfortunately. So the first step is to apply initially, so have your initial application. You can do this on ssa.gov, or you can go into your local Social Security office to apply. So after you file your initial application, you will likely get denied. Once you have your denial in your hands, that's a great time to go talk to an attorney, because the attorney can help you with the appeals process. The attorney can help build your medical evidence and things like that. So you can get a lawyer at any point in time throughout this process, but it's best if you get an attorney sooner rather than later. So after you get your initial denial, you only have 60 days to appeal that. If those 60 days lapse, you have to start all over and do the initial application again. So you appeal your initial denial. let's say you get denied again. At that point, you have another 60 days to request a hearing. Again, if the 60 days lapse, then you got to start all over at the beginning. So after you get your second denial, you request a hearing. A hearing usually takes at least 6 months to schedule. I know that sounds like a long time, but it's actually quicker than it used to be. Social Security has started doing centralized scheduling, which has sped up the process of hearings a little bit. So that's a good thing. The hearings it's not like Judge Judy, it's not a courtroom like you see on TV. It's a small conference room. The judge is on their bench, the claimant's there, the claimant's going to give their testimony, the attorney's there if you have an attorney. There's a hearing monitor there who's going to be typing and recording everything that's going on. And then there's a vocational expert who's going to testify as to your past work and any jobs you may be able to work in the nation. Sometimes there's also a medical expert who's going to testify as to your impairments and what sort of disabilities most people with these impairments experience. So even after your hearing, at the end of the day, the end of the hearing, you won't have a decision at that point either. The judge has to issue a written decision, and he or she will mail it to you. So, like I said, it can be a long process, but these are benefits that you likely paid into. If you paid into the SSDI, so you could be entitled to these. So don't be discouraged. They're going to make you jump through the hoops, of course, but keep fighting, and if it's something that you really believe you need, find an attorney and we'll help you out. Okay, so that's it for today. If you have any other questions, you can reach out to me, you can call me, you can text me, you can email me, you can Facebook message me. Whatever's easiest for you, I'm here for you guys. I also want to let you know that if you have a topic that you'd like me to discuss on Free Info Friday, let me know and I'd be happy to do that. Okay, guys, have a great weekend and I look forward to working with you.